Hello, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Chairman. Hello, everybody.
All right, are we waiting on anybody? I see we have I think everybody's present. So if everyone's okay, I will go ahead and get started and call the meeting to order and ask council members seeking to do an invocation or moment of silence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we just begin with a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Let's pull the agenda back up here. All right, first order of business is the approval of minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt the minutes. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. So an update on the Low Country Rapid Transit Municipal State Highway Project Agreement, and I will kick it over to Ron if he's here.
It's Ms. Hollis, Sharon Hollis.
Okay, Ms. Hollis.
Hi, thank you.
Sharon.
Hello. We have the Low Country Rapid Transit resolution for the municipal agreement with SCDOT. As you're aware, the Low Country Rapid Transit is our region's first mass bus rapid transit system, and we have completed the 30% design, the environmental documents, and the project development of the project. As we move into the engineering phase, SCDOT will be taking over the management of the design and construction of the project in partnership with the COG and the county and the municipal partners. So this municipal state highway project agreement is their standard municipal agreement that they use when they are doing work in a municipality to ensure that the work that they're doing, that the city is in agreement with that work. And this is based on that 30% design that the city staff reviewed in May of this year. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to accept the municipal state highway project agreement and pass that on to the full council. Any discussion?
Sharon, will this be the only agreement needed to proceed, or when they get a little further down the line, is there anything more specific than this? This was pretty general.
As I understand, this is the agreement, the only agreement that they require. Now, of course, we do expect as we go through the design process, working hand in hand with the city for the next phase of design and into the construction. So it's not the last of the coordination, but as I understand, this is the agreement that they would like in order to feel comfortable moving forward managing the project.
All right, is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next on the agenda is the intergovernmental agreement, municipal golf course and Fleming Road. Miss Dees.
Yes, thank you. So basically, this is just a intergovernmental agreement between the city of Charleston and Charleston County to accept the matching funds for the city municipal golf course crossing and the Fleming Road sidewalk project. Prior to both of these projects being funded by CTC funds, the city has already given approval to give some sort of match to help assist getting these projects funded. But more or less, the IGA agreement provided is a standard template we use with other municipalities across the board, and we just asked for the committee to sign and get this rolling. So. You have any questions?
So a match is required for that, but the amount's not been determined yet. Is that correct?
The amount has been determined as part of both projects being funded. So those have been set, and it's just getting the agreement signed.
That's the 71,000 and the 100,000.
Yes. That is correct.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, if I may add a little background,
Mhm.
we had been getting requests, I think, for decades from the municipal golf course to make that crosswalk more safe at, it's not at an intersection, right, between the 9th and 10th hole. And traffic is very brisk there, to say the least. And so this improved crosswalk and signal will, we believe, add significant safety to that crossing, which always scares a lot of the golfers on their golf carts as they're trying to cross the street. And then secondly, we've been wanting to get going with a sidewalk on Fleming Road on James Island for some time. And this match, I think, put us over the top to get the project going. And I met with Robbie just the other day for our further requests for projects with the county for next year. And we'd like to just to let them know, Riska, continue even after this phase. We consider this a phase 1 because we want to keep on going down Fleming Road, adding sidewalks there to make that street safer. And then I did want to share with everyone that the funds for these matches came from a development agreement with the folks that did the Avalon Apartments there behind the Harris Teeter on Maybank Highway. And originally, I just want to share this with everyone so everyone will know. Originally, the thought was these funds would go towards a traffic signal light at Fleming and Maybank, but which we still would like to have, but unfortunately, upon request to the DOT, correct me if I'm wrong, Robbie, the warrants were not met. So the DOT did not approve putting a traffic signal at that corner at this time. So we thought the best next thing to do was to go ahead and improve, put in some sidewalks and improve the crosswalks along Maybank Highway.
And that signal at, because I've definitely crossed from the 9th to the 10th quite a number of times. That's going to be the hawk signal, right? So it'll be
That's
active.
right.
Okay.
And for y'all that don't know, Robbie, explain what a hawk signal is.
Hawk signal is a push button activated signal. So basically when the golfers or pedestrians come to the location, they'll push the button and it will activate and kind of work as a traffic signal to stop the traffic. It'll have a countdown signal to allow, just like we have in the city, to allow pedestrians know how much time they have to cross the street. And then it will, reactivate and open the traffic back up.
Thank you.
Great.
As far as I know, we only have one other hawk signal in the city, and that's at Meeting Street at Johnson Street, I believe it is, on Upper Meeting.
All right. Is there any other discussion? Yes, Councilmember Parker.
Yes, so I know the golf course, the community, they're going to be very excited about this. And just so I'm clear, the study, again, because where I came into all of this, the studies have already been done. These funds are for the actual signal.
So for the city golf course, this is for the warrant study itself, for the hawk signal.
Okay, so we are just, like you said, phase 1, this is just for the study.
Yes, for the study. And then depending on the results of that study will determine how we'll move forward.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I guess I would ask the same question: is the Fleming Road sidewalk, is that for the actual implementation of the sidewalk, or is it also a study? Because I know we had to do the study at Sanders Road for its sidewalk as well.
So that's for the actual design itself, okay, for the installation and the construction.
Where is the Fleming Road sidewalk Again, this isn't in my district, but I'm just curious, where is the sidewalk starting and ending?
At the intersection of Maybank and Fleming, and it extends all the way down to Standard Way, which should be where that assisted living community kind of starts there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that. Is there any other discussion? If not, I'd love to entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
All right. Motion from Councilmember Seekings. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. A second from Councilmember Gregg. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next on the agenda is the Pedicab Ordinance Amendment, and I will kick that over to Melissa.
Thanks, Chairman. Our current pedicab ordinance requires that when applicants fill out their application, they go ahead and fill in an address for the physical storage of their pedicabs, which by default means that they have to have physical storage of their pedicabs before they're even approved for decals. In September of last year, the city put out pre-qualifications for those additional nighttime pedicab decals. And a couple of the applicants raised concerns to the council that they shouldn't have to, have the storage before they're even approved. And so the council directed the legal department to remedy that. And so we have, and this is the ordinance amendment to correct that. And it basically removes the requirement that the applicant provide the physical address of the storage prior to being awarded the decals, but getting the decals is contingent upon them meeting all of the requirements, which includes getting physical storage. Clear as mud, Councilmember Seekings?
I don't really get it, but okay. I don't know why we're doing an extra
Any
step in
questions for
there.
you?
Doesn't make sense to me.
Is there any other questions or comments? All right. If not, I can entertain a motion to accept the forward this on to council.
So moved.
All right. Moved by Mayor Tecklenburg. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Second by Councilmember Gregg. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oh, Mr. Mayor, did you have your hand up?
So yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I did want to
And
just
then I'll go to Councilmember
reply
Parker.
briefly to Councilmember Seeking's comment that when we had that procurement recently, some folks, I guess they weren't able to meet the requirements of the ordinance because they weren't already in the business. And the purpose behind this change is to kind of create a level playing field. Being in the pedicab business is a little specialized, but it's not that specialized. And we didn't want to preclude people who felt like they could aspire to be in this business, to be able to bid on doing so. And so you wouldn't normally have a warehouse and a place set up if you weren't already in the business. So anyway, that's in a nutshell the reason why the change. So they still would have to meet all the requirements if they were the successful bidder by the time they get their tags or whatever for each pedicab. But it just makes it a little more inclusive was the reason. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Parker.
Yeah, Councilmember Seekings, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, just in regards. I think Mayor Tecklenburg sort of cleared up some of them for me, but can you tell me a little more about this or about your hesitations?
Well, with a long history of dealing with the pedicabs, I will just say this. I think what this does, it just puts another level of government intervention into all this. I think, if you're going to go out and bid a process, you should be prepared to meet the qualifications of that bid at the time you do bid it. My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the way this came up this time around was in the last procurement, there was a question out there about whether or not there were facilities available that met our requirements, and all the applicants put yes. Some of them were not forthright about that, and that's what sort of brought this up. So I just think it's an extra level that we don't necessarily need. If we put procurements out there, we put requirements on you meeting prerequisites all the time. Doesn't seem to me to be a heavy burden if you're bidding for decals to operate pedicabs on the street of the city of Charleston, that at the time you put in your procurement, you know how you're going to operate your business, including where you're going to put your pedicabs. But if this is the next level, what we're going to do is go through this process, and then we'll go through the process, and we'll have to send Mr. Somerville or somewhere out from his office to go and see whether they meet the requirements. It just is another level of review that I don't understand why we don't make them meet the requirements at the time of the bidding. So that's sort of my view of the whole process.
Okay, thank you for that, because ultimately they have to provide within 2 weeks. And what you're saying is it's just an added level for Mr. Somerville to have to go out after the fact and make sure that they meet that requirement.
Right. I just don't know that what's going to happen that quickly in 2 weeks. It's going to change the business model or their ability to produce all the requirements. So I just think, again, another burden back on our team.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. If not, I will entertain a motion to forward that on, or did I do that already?
I think there's one on the floor.
Okay. Yep, you're right. So with that, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Hey,
Nay.
All right. The motion carried 3-2. So next we have Mr. Somerville for his director's report, as well as the MOU Berkeley County 7 Farms Road Pedestrian Crosswalk Improvement Project.
That was a lot. Yes, this is a MOU with Berkeley County. The prior director, Mr. Keith Benjamin, was working with the Publix on 7 Farms on a mid-block pedestrian crossing. Again, between 7 Farms, on 7 Farms between Island Park and River Landing. As part of that agreement, it just, we had Kimley Horn do a study, that basically showed your pedestrian RRFB signals, the bulb outs to make the crossing shorter and more safer, as well as the high visibility crosswalk markings. And it was just perfect timing to where Berkeley County is actually working and going to be resurfacing 7 Farms. So we work with Berkeley County to kind of partner with their contractor, who is Banks Construction, to do the work for us. So the project, I guess was actually given notice to proceed, I want to say February 1st. There was a pre-construction meeting last week, for them to, get all the specs on the project, and they're ready to proceed with the installation of the crossing. Again, this is a high visibility pedestrian crossing with the flashing signals, bulb outs, which will remove some of the parking on 7 Farms and make it a very safe mid-block crossing on 7 Farms.
Thank you for that. Is there any questions, discussion? Yes, Councilmember Greg.
Mr. Somerville, I have I guess 2 questions. One, I see we are removing some parking in those drawings that you sent me. I know that's not a lot of parking spaces, but great concern out here is with the renovations at Credit One Stadium, what our parking plan is moving forward. Again, I know we're talking about 6 or 8 parking spaces that we're removing, but are we replacing those elsewhere? And that really pertains to the concerts at Credit One, as well as the tennis tournament.
Yeah, the per line of sight, we have to remove those parking stalls based on the speed limit on 7 Farms Drive. So the parking agreement, some of the discussions with Credit One and our, I think it's Team 5, the police, Lieutenant Wojo, is to utilize the Black Bog parking lot on Fairchild to, transport people back and forth to the tennis center.
And Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Gregg, if I may add, there's limited parking over on the stadium side of the street. So be it on Fairchild or people parking in the shopping center lot, whether they're supposed to or not. And there's a lot of pedestrian traffic, not just for the tennis tournament, but for future events as well. I know they're going to have a lot more music events there. And so particularly with the way 7 Farms kind of curves around, and you don't have a long sight line before you get to that crosswalk, and people can be speeding everywhere, I think the safety factor is kind of prominent here. And I think to do it now, the timing of this is just ideal, if I may say. Lucky that we can get this done before, this reopening of the center just a month and a half from now.
I agree.
Yep.
All right. Yes, Councilmember Gregg.
Yes, sir, Mr. Somerville. One more question. On the $210,640.95. I did see in the detailed cost estimate, we are being charged, or I guess as the pass-through, $11,000 in mobilization from the contractor. They're already going to be mobilized on 7 Farms Drive. I don't know how much opportunity there is for negotiation here, but is that typical? Do you see that where we'd get charged mobilization twice on something like this?
I'm not gonna say it's typical, but to be honest with you, the quote we had from Kimley Horn was, I believe, 15,000 more.
Okay.
So, the mobilization fee is a little bit lower than what the Kimley Horn quote was, I believe. So we are paying less, getting banks to do the work.
Okay. This came within the, I guess, what we had estimated, what Kimley Horn had estimated?
Came below, yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Councilmember Gregg?
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Somerville, do you have anything else?
Just want to introduce y'all. I think Michael's on the call, but I was finally able to hire Michael Mathis as my deputy director. Michael was an employee for the city of Charleston for 19 years, where he left for about 8 months and went to Charleston County. And I was happy to get him back on February 7th. So I think there he is. He's on the call. So just want to introduce y'all to Michael Mathis.
Welcome back.
It's like you never left.
He's back.
Glad to be back. Hope I can be helpful.
I'm glad he's back.
Yep.
Need the help.
No, that's great.
This is a really good thing for the city. Good job. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, maybe it was the way it was on the agenda, but I think we need to take action on the MOU with Berkeley County, or did I miss that?
So moved.
Second.
All right. It has been properly moved and seconded to forward the MOU onto council. Is there any further discussion? If not, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. So does anyone else have anything for the good of the order?
I do.
Yes, Councilman Parker.
Yes, thank you. I do, and it may not be the time, because it's not on the agenda, but just Mr. Somerville, I may just need to get with you on this, but is it a point if a constituent requests something, is it appropriate? Do we put it forth towards the committee, or do I go directly to Mr. Somerville first? And would you mind just kind of helping me through that process?
Please submit all requests, any request directly to me, traffic and transportation.
Perfect.
And then let us vet it, let us see what we can do to assist. And if it comes to the point to where we needed to get it in front of this committee, that's where I will work with the chair and vice chair, as well as the mayor, to get it on this committee for y'all to review.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Yep, I think Robbie's tired of hearing from me about speed bumps. It's a pretty standard request.
I'll jump in there and start to.
And the only thing I had, Robbie, was for the next time we meet, and to clue in Mike or Councilmember Seekings as well, just to get an update from CARTA on anything they're working on in the city, any future service, anything like that, would be great. And then for next time as well, was hoping we could get an update on anything that came out of the public hearing that we had for our Traffic and Transportation Committee meeting on some of the items that we had mentioned we would address. So if we could just get a formal update on that, that would be great. Yes, Councilmember Seekings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to get an update on CARTA in addition to and over and above Low Country Rapid Transit, which, is the biggest initiative that's not just CARTA, but crosses many jurisdictions. What I would propose on CARTA, I mean, I could do it, but I think it'd be better if we can get Ron or Sharon. So if I can just check with their schedules, and if it's not the next meeting, some meeting in the near future where they're available and can give a report, if that suits you, okay, I think that would be the best.
That would be great.
Course of action. Thanks.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Does anyone else have anything else? If not, I can give everybody 30 minutes back in their day. All right.
Awesome.
I will adjourn the meeting here at 1.
I have a question really quick, since we've got a couple seconds, Mr. Mayor. Is there some thought to going back in person on our committee meetings sometime in the near future? Or are we going to stick virtual for a while?
I think it's the pleasure of council, but my recollection was that we were going to stick with virtual for a while, except for Ways and Means and City Council. But I'm here most all the time, so yeah. It's fine with me if y'all want to get together in person, and particularly on a day like today when if it happens to be on council day. But we've it seems like we made a shift, and it's convenient for folks. So I'll leave it up to y'all's pleasure. It's no big deal for me either way.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, Councilmember Greg.
So I have a question as it pertains to our upcoming real estate committee meeting at 3:30. So if I come to council chambers, I'll still be able to get on, correct? Okay.
Yeah, and is that meeting in person today?
It
Well,
is, Mayor. Yes, real estate will be meeting in the chamber.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry to mix
Yeah, I
those.
think just because it was right before Ways and Means, we decided to do it in person.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else from anyone? All right. If not, I will call the meeting adjourned at 1:30 and see everybody later this afternoon.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
everybody.
Chairman.